Welcome to Happy Today podcast. This is a podcast for those who want to improve service experience of internal services. If you use ServiceNow or other enterprise service management system, then this is for you.
Hi again, welcome to Happy Today podcast. Today we are going to talk about what makes employees happy or unhappy to their services. And this is what we call factors. An example that I use is usually the one where if you go to the airport, you go to the toilet and you come out, and then there's these smiley faces. So you hit the red smiley face or the unhappy face. The airport doesn't really know, was it because the flight was delayed or the toilet paper was out? And we try to tackle this, something that we call the factors. So can you, Sami, explain how do we gather this information?
Yeah, so every time you answer our survey, we are dividing those scores from 0 to 10 to 3 different areas. So positive are the 9 and 10. So when you click 9 and 10, we are asking what made you happy.
Yeah.
And there is a set of factors that you select, okay, these were the ones that in fact made me feel good. And then if you click neutral, 7, 8, we are asking what we could do better. Under 7, we are asking what we must do differently.
Okay.
So today in this episode, we first go through the positive ones and then the most negative ones, so that you kind of understand what are the main areas of causing people be happy or unhappy to IT incidents. So this is now today only about IT incidents.
And this data is part of our happiness score report. So you can get the whole report online. You go to happysignals.com and you can download it from there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's start. What makes employees happy?
All right, I was thinking to go through only the biggest 3, and the biggest one here is speed of service. So you can go to our report and see exactly the percentage there, but speed of service is the biggest. But now we have to think about it in a bit different way, because this is not the speed of the first answer to the end user. This is the perception of the whole time needed from the moment they realize they have that IT incident to the time they know that it's resolved.
Yeah.
So sometimes people are losing time even before they contact service desk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They don't know where the portal is, what is the number, they ask their colleagues, their managers, and so on.
Yeah. But the speed of service, kind of their perception of it is the biggest one.
Okay.
But quite interesting, the next 2 are kind of agent soft skills. So not soft only, but first is the attitude.
Okay.
So what was the attitude of the agent really influences that you really get that 9 or 10. So you wouldn't get those if you don't have right people.
So even the employees are human and they appreciate good human service.
Yeah.
So just like us as consumers, when we go somewhere and somebody is smiling and having a good attitude, positive attitude, it makes a difference.
And interested about your case. That's the thing. The third one is agent skills. And this has been quite interesting to follow up, because that has been going up the whole history of our company. So it's getting to be more and more interesting and important for end users. I think the reason for that is that the end users are starting to be more skillful on their own all the time. So that is causing that this factor is going up.
And probably it might be this consumerization, because the agents and the employees all are using more IT outside their work life, and the enterprise IT is coming closer to the consumer IT. So that could be one of the reasons.
Yeah. And the other things we asked there is like about the process. Did I get informed, and was the service provided proactively, or did I learn something?
Yeah.
All these have an influence on it,
yeah.
but not as huge as these first 3.
Perfect. Then what about the negative ones? What seems to be the thing that make people, unhappy and frustrated?
Frustrated might be the right word. Sometimes I use first hate, but that is maybe too strong.
Yeah.
But the first interesting thing here is that the agents are not the ones causing unhappiness. So one of the most unimportant factor is the attitude of agents. Yeah. So of course, if that is wrong, that is really wrong.
Yeah.
But it's not very big issue in the industry.
Yeah.
Skills a bit bigger.
Yeah.
But the speed of service, of course, it is the biggest one here. And that is quite obvious, because if you don't get things solved when you need them, of course that will make you frustrated.
Yeah.
But the second biggest is the one that is, let's say, making people think what is causing this, and still we don't have an exact answer.
Yeah.
And the problem there is that my ticket was not even solved.
Yeah, and that's strange, because even in the ticket, when we were asking, it said, hey, if you think that this wasn't, you want to reopen this, you can always click another button. But still they are accepting the resolution that it was not solved.
Yeah. So they approve it, but they still said, you didn't help me. And that you didn't help me is maybe the key there.
True.
So they might, in some cases we know from the written feedback that there was other employee that helped them, or they got the resolution on their own from Google or something. The other thing there is that even though they accept it, they are still thinking that this was not the real fix.
Yeah.
This has happened several times already, and they know that this will happen again. So they're kind of saying that, yeah, but not.
Yeah.
And I think those are the main two reasons. And then there are cases when the end users really, if you read the written feedback, they don't want to be part of it anymore. So they just start and they make the decision, I will leave with this problem. We have been trying to solve it for 3 weeks and you're not going to help me, but I'm not going to spend my time. I'm just going to put my computer every morning or something like that.
And probably it might be kind of tied to that factor that is, I had to explain my case several times. Yeah. So at some point they just get frustrated and don't want to continue. Yeah.
And in fact, that is the third most important of the factors. So the tennis ball thing, I had to explain that several times. Yeah. And we just had an episode on earlier on reassignment counts. Yeah. So that is very, very linked to this one.
All right.
But still about that, my ticket was not solved. I think one good thing in our product is that you can select that factor.
True.
And then you can see what are the cases causing this. Are they related to some services or related to some teams of yours or locations, wherever you are having more of those problems. And then you start to understand, okay, what is really behind that really huge. And that is like 30% of all cases where people are rating the services on 30%. People are saying that you didn't even help me.
Yeah. And because of course sometimes it's like some team is not responsible of handling some service, but now if you see that from the data that we get such a huge volume of people complaining that it wasn't solved because it ends up to a wrong team, then could you make a process of actually getting it to the right team or saying how that other team should actually handle it so that it does get solved? Yeah. But it's you can really then dig into the data and see what you could do.
And then kind of the other kind of small factors are like I didn't know where to start, or the instructions were hard to understand. They are not huge in an overall situation, but of course there are customers that they are having issues in those.
Yeah.
With our product, you can also these factors you can use and get them from our benchmark, and everybody can use them however you wish, and because that is coming from all our customers, that is kind of a thing that you can trust it even though you don't have your own data there.
Yeah.
But our customers can compare their own situation to our benchmark in the tool. So then I really start to understand, okay, do we have an attitude issue, even though 30% is people are saying that the attitude is good, but it's 15% is less than the benchmark. Yeah. So that helps you kind of understand that, okay, there is something we can do better in that area.
True. And also our customers, they can actually make it actionable. So for example, the ServiceNow customers, they can use the workflow designer. So when the feedback is coming in, it has a low score, it has a certain factor they could make. So for let's say that it's an agent skill thing, it could go to the service desk team manager, say that, hey, it seems to be again a skill issue. If it's an attitude issue, it should definitely go there. And then maybe start highlighting that, hey, it seems like we are not solving these issues. So it's really powerful that you can do then with the experience data when you bring it back to your ITSM platform.
And again, you can also use this data as to make some of the agents heroes.
True.
Who really need to be the hero.
Yeah.
So the people who have the best attitude and the skills, not the ones who are resolving most of the ticket, but who are getting most of the kind of mentions by their attitude. And
actually I did that. I did one that kind of report to one customer just with the ServiceNow reporting. So just get, hey, pick all the positive feedbacks and who agent has the most mentions of good attitude or good skill. Yeah. So it's really a more like a happiness leaderboard than like a penalty board, as it sometimes is used. So cool. All right, thanks, Sami. And as mentioned earlier, so you can get the report, go into details, and we'll update the report quarterly. So the next one is coming beginning of 2020. So until that time, I say stay happy.